why did no one teach us in school about this? Welcome back to the Voice Bean. A common theme that I've noticed on like the productivity YouTube space area is to be consistent. To do the same thing every single day, be consistent, no excuses, rise and grind. Now, first of all, we are not robots. Second of all, there are so many things that can get in the way of being productive every day, like physical health conditions and mental health struggles, family problems, life stressors, lack of sleep, any number of things that make it more difficult to like achieve that same baseline level of productivity each day. But the one that I want to talk about today is hormone cycles. So if you have pretty consistent hormones day to day, it is a lot easier to achieve that productive, consistent daily schedule than if you have a monthly menstrual cycle. So yes, this video is about periods. Please do not click off this video because you're just like, ew, periods, or I don't have a period, so this doesn't apply to me. This stuff is really, really important whether you menstruate or you know people who menstruate, and you probably do, because the more that we are able to understand how we all work, the more compassion we can have for ourselves and for the people around us. Because we're all hormonal, it's just that our hormones function in different ways. So if you don't understand how your hormones function, you might beat yourself up for not being productive and motivated all the time when your body just isn't set up to function that way. So if you're still watching, I am not an endocrinologist. I love learning about this topic and I read some articles as I was writing this script, but yeah, I'm not an official scientist. So I had a conversation with a couple of other menstruators recently, and we were talking about how isn't it frustrating that a lot of the productivity YouTubers we follow are cis men. Don't get me wrong, the tips and the advice are great and I genuinely do enjoy their content, but sometimes it's just hard to relate. It's like, how can we keep up with that same productive daily schedule on a day where we might be feeling physical pain, unmotivated, exhausted, just craving solitude and rest? So testosterone peaks in the morning for everyone regardless of sex, but different people will produce different amounts of it. So in the morning when it peaks, it makes you really energetic. Then in the afternoon, it mellows out, but like not too much. So it's a good time for productivity. And then finally, it dips in the evening, which is a good time for some chill and relaxing activities. For those who have a monthly menstrual cycle or receive hormone replacement therapy and therefore also experience similar symptoms on a monthly basis, there's a similar pattern, but it's stretched out over the course of a month. Think about the typical workday in our culture. You get the really difficult stuff done in the morning and out of the way, you finish up and tie up some loose ends in the afternoon, and then you go home in the evening to relax and chill out. So you see how the monthly cycle doesn't really match up with that? So I really like this quote that says, "We can get all we need to get done as a person who has periods, but we have to stop trying to cram it into 24 hours or a week. We were built to schedule our lives in a monthly rhythm." Hearing all that, you might be like, it kind of sucks to have a menstrual cycle. Yes, it does kind of suck. But if you understand how this monthly cycle works, you can actually kind of start to sync your life to it, and then it starts to suck a little bit less and maybe even becomes a tool that you can use. So this is called cycle syncing. Pretty much any area of your life can be synced to your cycle. How you eat, how you exercise, when you socialize, when you get work done, when you try to get more sleep, when you do your monthly planning, like everything. So there's this really great book that I would recommend to you. It is called Period Power by Maisie Hill, and in it she uses a pretty popular metaphor, which is the seasons of the menstrual cycle. It's actually like really poetic. So the first phase of the cycle is winter. Winter starts on day 1 of your period and it lasts about 5 days or so. If you think about how winter is in nature, everything kind of slows down. Animals hibernate, the trees lose their leaves, plants die, etc. So winter is the time to rest. Try to clear as much work from your plate as possible, stay home and socialize less, skip the exercise or do something really gentle like walking or yoga, stay away from social media and set boundaries because this is a time when you're feeling pretty sensitive, and it's also a good time to do some journaling because it's easier to like connect with your intuition. So after winter comes spring. Spring is the time when everything starts to come alive and the flowers start to grow and the birds start chirping. Everything is new. So your energy starts to pick back up, you're more productive, you're more motivated and social. It's a really good time to try new things, go on dates, do a little bit more challenging and aerobic exercise, but also like don't rush into it too fast, because then you'll just exhaust yourself for the rest of your cycle. So spring is like the ramp up to summer. You're getting more energy, but like don't overwork yourself. Summer is like the superpower season. Your body needs less food and less sleep. You're more productive. You're really good at communicating, really good at taking criticism. So this is a good time to get like some feedback on a project. Summer is just really the time to get stuff done and socialize. And then finally, we make our way back to the end of the circle and it's fall. Once again, the leaves start dropping from the trees. Everything is kind of preparing for winter. It's like the season to cozy up in a sweater, you know, and stay at home. And that's kind of the vibe of this phase of the menstrual cycle as well. So your energy goes inward again and your productivity slumps a little bit. This is a good time to get your life organized and declutter, whether it's your physical space or your mental space, things like commitments you've made or relationships in your life. You're also more assertive during this time. So you basically have like the powers that you need to rearrange how your life is and make sure that everything in your life is actually supporting you. During fall, you also need to eat more and sleep more to nourish yourself and switch back to some gentler exercise. And then you're back at the top and the whole thing restarts again. That's why it's called the cycle. So that's sort of a general idea of what the phases are like, but to really understand how you personally experience them and what your symptoms are, what you should expect, it's a really good idea to start tracking your cycle. Clue is a really popular app. Personally, I do use it to track the dates of my period, but when it comes to like the symptoms and the emotions that I'm feeling, I just feel like there aren't enough options in the app, but that's just my personal opinion. A lot of people do like using it. So what I do is in my journal at the top of the entry, like where I write the date, I also write the day of the cycle and then just like pay attention to it that way. There's a lot of like circular charts that you can find on the internet and print where it basically divides a circle into like, I don't know, 30-ish pie slices, and then in each one, each day, you just write a couple of words about how you were feeling that day. So now, knowing that you have this monthly cycle of fairly predictable phases of productivity and not so much productivity, doing your monthly planning around your cycle starts to make more sense, right? I'm just gonna wait for you to answer like it's an episode of Dora. Right. So instead of planning on the first day of the calendar month, how about planning on the first day of your cycle when your intuition is better and you already want to like stay home and not go out anyways? You can plan out what you want to accomplish during those productive spring and summer seasons, how you want to take care of yourself during winter and fall, and then you have this perfect opportunity at the end of the month to check in with yourself, how the past couple of weeks went, and then plan for the next cycle. Unfortunately, life does not adjust itself around our cycle. I know it really sucks. You probably will have to work and socialize and physically exert yourself when your body is just not up for it. But any little change that you can make to make things easier for yourself is going to make a difference. And if nothing else, if you absolutely cannot avoid any of the responsibilities that you have, you can at least have some more compassion for yourself and understand why things might be feeling so challenging. So that is pretty much the spiel on the seasons of the menstrual cycle. I think one takeaway that I want you to take away from this video is that I think we should talk about periods more. I really like this example from the book Period Power of how you might explain to a person who doesn't have a menstrual cycle how you feel over the course of a month. And of course this doesn't apply to everyone because people experience different symptoms, but it's a good example of how you might explain to someone you live with or spend a lot of time with how they can better support you throughout your cycle. So a final question you might have is, Patrice, why are you so interested in this? First of all, I have a menstrual cycle myself, so that's cool. Second, it is tied into productivity, and that's kind of my thing on the Bliss Bean. But most importantly, I actually lost my period for 1.5 years when I was in high school. And I never learned in school or elsewhere how important it actually is to your health. And so I was just kind of like, oh well, like there's one less thing that I have to deal with each month. And it wasn't until my doctor sat me down and like explained to me the different hormones that are involved in the cycle that me losing my period actually meant that I was losing bone density, and that was a permanent thing that would affect me when I got older. And I was like so much more appreciative of my period and worked to get it back, learned a lot about how it works. And I don't know, I was just so amazed at all this stuff that I learned. It was like there was this guidebook out there to how my body functioned and how my emotions to some extent functioned, and I had just never learned about it. Like, why did no one teach us in school about this? So I hope this was a good like introduction into the topic, if this was also something that you'd never heard of before. Finally, before you click off of the video, I would like to tell you about a little special project. Unfortunately, not everyone has the supplies that they need to take care of themselves during their menstrual cycle. So for this video, we have organized a fundraiser with Girls Health Period. Girls Health Period is a non-profit organization whose mission is to enrich the lives of students in education, sports, and career by providing menstrual products, education, and underwear to menstruating bodies from elementary school to college. Girls Health Period has donated thousands of menstrual products and underwear to over 50 organizations, including schools, group homes, and public restrooms. So if you are able to donate today, any small amount would really help and make a difference. You can head right down below this video, I believe. I think there will be like a button for you to donate to make it nice and easy. I also want to thank Jace for helping me so much with this video script, and thank you for watching. Be sure to give this video a like, donate if you can, subscribe to The Bliss Bean, and I will see you next week. Bye!